So on the 15 minutes time frame, what we are going to do to prevent us from maybe impulsive entry and all of that is to wait for price to break below this red line here, which is 2732.015 on the 15 minutes time frame. So wait for price to break below it properly, then catch it on the pullback, our stop loss above, and then take profit below. Welcome back, guys. You can see that price actually broke below the 2732.015 area significantly, broke below it at this point, then came back for a retest, and look at how price sold off on gold. So there are some doubters in the comment section, but we've been doing this over the years, and it has always been like that. As a matter of fact, even on the thumbnail, you can remember vividly. If you look at the thumbnail, you can see that I actually plotted this zone above that price may most likely come into it around this point and this point before selling off, and that actually happened. So whichever way you chose to go with the sell, they both played out, whether with the thumbnail image or with the actual analysis. Everything played out perfectly. So what do we expect going into next week? First of all, I'll go to the weekly time frame, and I want to see how we close. I can see that we close with a solid bearish candle for last week. If I go to the daily time frame, I have this trend line below. If you're wondering where the trend line is coming from, we can spot a touch here, some couple of touches here, and I think price may most likely come back into that trend line before we take off. That is a possibility. But since we are sitting on this current support on the daily time frame, price may also just continue upward, because remember, we are still in a very solid bullish trend, obviously. But if price is going to make its way down to this trend line, then I'll go to the 4-hour time frame, and I'm going to give a bullish and bearish scenario. But meanwhile, let me delete these levels above here. So I will now put a trend line. So that will make me give a bullish and bearish scenario. I'll put a trend line above here. So price may tap into the third touch of this upper trend line before making its way down to this lower trend line here. We already know where that lower trend line is coming from on the daily time frame, but above we have 1, we have 2. So price may come here, then sell into this 2606.621 region before we take off. That is a possibility. But just to simplify this so that we don't look at too much levels, I'm going to put a line below here, which is 2650.950. So if price can break below that region, continue lower, break below that region, we want to catch it on the pullback here. So by that, we are going to switch to a much lower time frame, like the 15 minutes time frame or the 30 minutes time frame, and catch the next sell to this 2606.621 area here. All right, which may most likely tap into this daily trend line before we either take off or break below and continue downward, but we may most likely reject to the upside. All right, then for bullish scenario, let's say price fails to continue lower and price instead pushes higher, breaks above this upper trend line that has been tested multiple times, and these zones that has also been rejected multiple times historically, then we want to see price create a new higher high, obviously higher than this previous high created here. Then we want to catch it on the pullback, right? Our stop loss below, take profit can be this same previous high that we have here, which is around 2789.329. So these are my bullish and bearish scenario on gold. The next on my list is USDJPY. And if you decide to buy from here, I don't think you're doing anything wrong technically, right? You're following the trend, which you should be doing. So price has broken, price has retested, it looks good to go. All right, I don't trade USDJPY. You could put your stop loss below this 151.394, and your next target will be let me put a line there. Your next target will be 154.745. So 2 weeks ago, you can see that I gave that buy, the price opened with a gap up, buying at this upper zone and putting your stop loss below 151.394, like I stated in that video, is not a wise decision. So thankfully, price pulled back last week into our zone, and price now took off from that zone into our target being 154.745, which is fantastic, right? So what do we expect going into next week? I have not analyzed DXY yet, but on DXY it still looks like we have enough room to the upside, so that may most likely mean USDJPY may continue higher. So if I go to the the daily time frame, you will notice that price is pointing downward. We may be coming back. Let me even go to the 4-hour time frame. We may be coming back to tap into this zone again before we take off again with 154.745 as our target again. All right, but if price comes here and fails to give us our bullish confirmation, then we'll go back to plan B, which is waiting for price to break below 151.394, then switch to a much lower time frame to catch it on the pullback. Stop loss above, take profit below here, which is 149.228 before we take off, because USDJPY is also in a bullish trend right now at the moment. If we go to the monthly time frame, you can see that price bounced off this 140.000 that I've been pointing out for the previous months, couple of months now, if you've been following my video. And now we have a strong bullish engulfing candlestick for last month, so price will most likely continue higher. So anything we see on the 4-hour time frame is just a mere pullback. So that bullish move may continue from 151.394 or from 149.228. All right, so these are the bullish and bearish scenarios on USDJPY going into next week. The next on my list is DXY. We can begin to see a sign of a mini change in trend, just mini change in trend, because we are still overall bullish for now. You can see that price is bullish from this point, pull back, but failed to create a new higher high, though it gave us a higher low. Failed to create a new higher high, so it's like triple top at the moment, then came back to give a new lower low, which is obviously lower than this, and this is where we are. So price may most likely drop into this zone. So if price drops, where I'm expecting a continuous bullish move on DXY will be 103.223. So price may most likely bounce off from here. So welcome back, guys. You can notice how DXY sold off initially. I was actually expecting a bullish move from 103.223, but that failed to happen. Price came very, very close, which is still valid. I mean, if I had made this area a zone, we would have captured this zone. So that's why it's important when you're plotting your support and resistance level, use this rectangle tool to do that. All right, this was the line, and that's why I was not able to capture this zone, but it is still valid. Price sold off initially before we now took off. Going with our plan B, price broke above, because last week I also gave a bearish and bullish scenario. So price played out in the bearish scenario and also played out the bullish scenario. Price bounced off, came back for the retest, and it's looking to go higher now. If I go to the weekly time frame, you can see the target. The target is this trend line up above here. All right, price will most likely come into that trend line before maybe giving a pullback, then before taking off again, because I'm expecting a bullish DXY. All right, so our target is this trend line, and if I go back to the 4-hour time frame, I'm actually expecting price to continue into the trend line up above within next week. We may sell from there, but there will be a midweek analysis on Telegram. So if you're not on the Telegram channel, the link is going to be in the description below. Join the Telegram channel to be part of our live analysis within next week. All right, so that is that on DXY. The next on my list is EURUSD. So now price is actually inside our pullback zone now. So two things may happen. If we see a good rejection from within this 1.08376 and 1.08272 area, if we see a good bullish rejection, then we may just head back into 1.08962. That's scenario one. But if price continues lower without giving us a confirmation inside of this zone, and then let's say price continues and breaks below 1.08272, then we want to catch it at on the pullback on a much lower time frame, then we are trading. So you can see EURUSD last week, price bounced off to our target, but it actually gapped up. As you can see, this was the last candle for the last video. And as you can see, when price opened, it just jumped straight to our bullish target. So that made it invalid. And the bearish side of things eventually played out after price shot below, went back to retest the 1.08272 area before selling off. Now, if DXY keeps making its way higher into that upper trend line on the weekly time frame, then I'll be expecting Euro USD to come into 1.06523 area, which is this green line right here. All right, if I squeeze out, you see that's a significant point that price has bounced off historically. So I'm expecting price to come back there if DXY continues higher. All right. So, but in the midweek analysis, I'm going to give a detailed explanation on this after price must have actually moved a little. All right. So the next on my list is GBPUSD. As you can see, GBPUSD last week, my target was 1.28520, which price did come to, but the entry was kind of not the perfect entry that we're looking for. And it is what it is. Price is quite choppy on GBP USD. That is why this happened. So, but going into next week, I still expect price to come down to 1.28520 before we either take off or break below. But I'm going to shed more light on this during the midweek analysis. Once again, the link to the Telegram channel is in the comment section down below. Do well to join. And the last on my list for today is BTC. Now, BTC has finally moved. Forget about all these markings on my chart. All right, forget about all these markings. It's from a session that I had with some students yesterday. So I was just trying to explain market structure and where to get in using candlestick patterns. So let me just delete all of that. So now that price has moved on BTC and it has created a new higher high, which is obviously the all-time high. At some point, I'll be expecting to see price pull back in between this region, 73,442.28 and 71,561.51 before we continue to the upside. That's my view on BTC. So that will be all for this week's analysis. Our mentorship program is kicking off. I'm talking about the live session. I mean, because if you want to go for the course, you can actually purchase the course and learn at your own pace. Our live session, live mentorship program is kicking off on the 11th of November, one day after my birthday. Tomorrow is my birthday, by the way. So our mentorship is starting on Monday. And if you want to be a part of it, please, the link is in the description below. Just click and take your trading to the next level. Be like some of our students that are already cashing out from our mentorship, where we give rule-based execution strategy that whenever you open your laptop, whenever you open your computer to trade, you know exactly what to be looking for, what time of the day you should be looking for trades and all of that, making your strategy, making your trading rules-based and well-structured. All right, so time will not permit me to keep going on and on. Maybe I'll do that some other time, but that will be all for this week's analysis. Once again, if you are yet to like, subscribe, please do so now, and also leave a comment down below because it's important to me. It encourages me to keep doing this. It makes me know that we are in sync. All right, so thanks for staying to the end of this video. I wish you a successful trading week, and I'm going to see you in our midweek analysis. Bye.